all you action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here with another T&I toy review. And today's review is in association with MarvelousNews.com, your #1 news source for everything Marvel. And for today's review, I'm going to be taking a look at the brand new Marvel Legends Avengers Endgame / Avengers movie Captain America figure from Hasbro. Now this figure comes packaged in the same style that we see with all the Marvel Legends. You've got the black box with the Legends series logo up at the top. The figure is clearly displayed in the window box packaging. You've got the Avengers Endgame movie logo down below and the name of the character. On the sides of the packaging, you've got some artwork. On the back, you have additional artwork and then a brief bio in multiple languages. And then down below, you have a look at all the figures in the wave that you need to get in order to complete that BroThor Build-A-Figure. All right, let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside the packaging along with the other contents. Now, first of all, you get the right arm for the BroThor Build-A-Figure, and I will be taking a look at the BroThor figure in its own review once I've looked at all the other figures in this wave, so be sure to check back for that. And then finally, we get Captain America's shield, and this is the same type of shield that we've seen with most of the Marvel Legend Captain America movie figures. You've got the metallic red, silver, and blue, and then you've got the star with the line work in the middle, designating it the movie shield. Now, I have a little bit of red bleeding on the silver on this one. On the back side, you've got the silver with the straps, which are made with a rubber material that are made to look like leather. Now this, however, is not the same shield that we got with the original Avengers figure. This is a little bit different. On that original one, it was smaller, and you got these really large straps, which were kind of a pain in the butt. They were adjustable, but I did not like the design of the original Avengers movie cap shield. So I'm glad that they went on and just gave us the normal one like we've seen with most of the other movie figures. Now, the one advantage that the original Captain America Avengers movie shield had over these other MCU shields is you could adjust the strap so that you could actually put it on the figure's back. You know, those large straps look terrible when you try and put it on its arm, but it does allow you to adjust them so that you can actually fit it on the back. With these regular shields, the straps are not adjustable and they're too small for going around the shoulders, so there's no way to do that. So if you have that original shield and you want one for the figure's back, you can use it on this figure. It doesn't look the greatest. I prefer the old clip and peg system like with the comic book based ones, but again, you can kind of make that work with the original shield. Okay, now for the figure itself, this is primarily a reuse of that first Avengers movie Captain America figure that Hasbro did a long time back, which actually wasn't technically a Marvel Legend. It was part of the Avengers movie subline, but it is the same figure. However, we do get a new head sculpt with this figure, and you do have better paint applications with this new figure. Okay, so I've zoomed in so you can get a better look at the two head sculpts. And this new one, it just looks more like Chris Evans. The face itself just looks a lot more like Chris Evans than this one, which was much more generic looking. And the skin tone is better. And I like the way the A is sculpted on the head there, a little bit better than on this original figure. And the head itself is just a hair bit bigger, which I think looks better on the body than the original one. The head ended up looking a little bit small on that original figure. And then on the sides of the figure, again, you have some nice sculpting detail with the earpiece and everything with this new one. And the wings are sculpted a little bit nicer. So just overall, this is a much nicer looking and more movie accurate head sculpt than what we originally got. Now for the rest of the figure sculpting wise is exactly the same. There's no differences, but you do have better overall paint applications. They're not as bright as the original figure, which I think looked more movie accurate. So you've got the blue and you've got the metallic star there sculpted on his chest, and you've got the silver here up on his shoulders. Now in the original figure, they had painted up there on the shoulder area a darker color, which is no longer there. It's all the same blue color, which again I think is more movie accurate. You've got the white there on the underside of his upper arm, and then he's got the gloves, the red gloves with the metallic silver. You've got nice sculpting on the back as well with the metallic star and the line work. And then at the midsection, he's got the red and white stripes. And again, you have some line work sculpted in there. Same belt as the other figure, painted a darker blue, but it is the same belt with the pouches and everything. And you've got the metallic silver. And then same with the pants and the knees and the shoes, all that's the same. Now here on the legs there on the front there, they've added the silver stripes. That was not included on the original figure. You got the pockets on the back there. representing America's ass. And then they've added the black on the soles of the shoes, which I think is a nice detail as well. They even included this little metallic silver zipper in the midsection, which was not featured on the original figure, but is something that is actually featured in the costume as seen in the Avengers movie. Now, if you're wondering if you can use like one of the recent unmasked Steve Rogers heads with this figure, technically you can get it on there. It is a pretty tight fit, but you can get it on. But it doesn't look quite right. The neck on this figure is a little bit long, so when you put the unmasked head on, it just doesn't really look that good. Now this figure stands right about 6.5 inches tall. And here once again is a comparison with the original Avengers movie figure. Now, when this new figure was first announced at San Diego Comic-Con, I was a little disappointed that we didn't get a completely new sculpted figure. I always felt like this original Avengers movie figure did not do a good job of representing the costume from that movie. But looking at this figure more closely with the new head sculpt and the improved upon paint applications, I do actually think it does a much better job of representing the costume from the original movie. And so, you know, I think it's actually worth getting, even though it is mostly just the same sculpt with the new head sculpt and new paint applications. I think it is improved upon enough that it is actually worth getting, even if you have the original figure. And here's a comparison of the other Avengers Endgame Cap figure, the one with the modern outfit, the Walmart exclusive, and because this uses that older sculpt, it is a little bit taller. Here's a comparison with the Avengers Endgame Iron Man Mark 85 figure. Here's a comparison with the Avengers Endgame Hulk Build-A-Figure. And then finally, for one more comparison, we have the original Avengers movie Thor figure, as well as the recently released MCU Avengers movie Iron Man figure. Now, the articulation is exactly the same as on the original figure, but we'll go over it real quick. You can turn the head to the left and to the right. He can look down about that much, and then he can look up about that much. You don't really get any head pivot with this one. Then with the arm, you can get his arm out pretty good there, and then you can rotate the arm. Now, getting the arms completely down at the side, that's about as far down as you can get it on this figure. You've got a bicep swivel, you've got a double jointed elbow, so good bending there at the elbow. You do not have any wrist articulation with these. You do have up here at the glove cuff, you can rotate, but there's no hinges on the hands or anything. You have a midsection joint, so you can rotate there at the midsection. You can pivot to the left and the right. He can crunch forward a teeny bit, but not too much. And then he can look back about that much there. You do not get a waist swivel with this one. And then with the legs, he can do the splits good. You can get the leg forward only about that much. And then you can do the leg back about that much. You've got a thigh swivel, you've got a double jointed knee, so good bending there at the knee, and then you have hinges on the feet, so up and down movement, and you do get ankle pivot with this one. Now, one thing I do want to note with this mold, like with the original figure, it gets kind of hard to keep the upper torso straight. It always seems to kind of want to tilt to one side or the other, which is something that always kind of annoyed me. You can get it straight, but you really have to kind of work with it. So just something to be wary of. Okay, so that's my review. Now, while I would have probably preferred a completely new sculpt if I had a choice, I will say that I think this figure is much more improved upon than I originally thought it would be over the original figure. The new head sculpt looks a lot better, and then the paint applications just do a world of difference with the figure. It makes it look much more movie accurate in my opinion. So even if you have the original figure, I do think it's worth checking this one out. Now this figure, along with the rest of the wave, has started to see a limited release, but should be out in full force by early to mid-October. We'll have a full image gallery up at marvelousnews.com. There'll be a link in the video description below. As always, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you're so inclined, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. And of course, you can also follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. I have links to those in the video description as well. Until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.